Hi, my name is Randy Van Duinen, and I just created a new video on image competition. This video will go through everything you need to know to sizing your images, how to put a mat or border around it, or stroke, all this sort of stuff, flatten it, and the settings you'll need to convert the image to make it ready for print.com or printcompetition.com. It's really simple. It doesn't take that long. Please don't wait till the last minute to do it. Do this early so you're not rushing at the last minute. And you can get everything ready. This works great for both state and local PPA affiliates. Once you're done, upload it to printcompetition.com, pay your fees, and hopefully walk home with your new award. All right, let's get started. I have two images that I'm going to show you how to get your images ready for print competition. One is vertical and the other is horizontal. We're going to start with the horizontal one. It's probably the easier one. Something to think about when you're getting your images ready is that horizontal images are going to look larger than the vertical images during print competition. It's just the way the monitors are and the way it shows. So that may or may not influence the judges. I don't think it does, but just to let you know, the images will look bigger. So let's get started on this. Okay, let's go to our image. And the first thing we're going to do is unlock the layer here because we're going to want to put another layer underneath it eventually. The next thing we're going to do is make this the correct size. So our images can be 4,000 pixels at their largest. But you're usually going to want to put a mat around them for print competition. For the IPC, you don't want to for PPA, but for most other competitions, you really do probably want to put a mat on it or a border. So let's go ahead and let's go to image size, and we're going to first take this down to 72 pixels, and we're going to change our longest width or height depending to, well, it would be 4,000 if you didn't want a mat. Because I want a mat, I'm going to change it to 3,700. That'll allow me to put a mat of about 150 pixels all the way around it. So let's do that. Let's center this again, make it a little bigger just so you can see what you're doing here. And the next thing I want to do is put a layer underneath here. So I'm going to actually hold the Command key, hit create new layer, and now I have that. And so now I am going to come over here and come up to canvas size. Now I know our largest one can be 4,000. That's what we want. So 4,000 pixels. And because I added 300 onto that, I'm going to add 300 more on here. So instead of 2498, it's going to be 2798. Except I have too many twos there. There we go. Just leave it so it's centered right in the middle of it and go OK. So now we have a mat. So this is where you have to make some creative decisions. Sometimes it's a great idea, on some of my architectural ones, I will just, on the layer, I'm going to just go up to edit, fill, say use black, and say OK, and fill it with black. And sometimes for my architectural images, that will look great. For other images, it might not. You may want to choose a color or something to go with it that complements it or is part of the image. So let's change this color here. So what I'm going to do is make sure I have my brush selected. I'm going to hold the Option or Alt key, and I'm going to come in here and grab some sort of gold, like that. And now I can go ahead and just again go up and go fill, or I can hold the Option delete and we will have it fill that in. Well, that looks, one of the things, if you do a color or something like this, you want to make it look a little darker. So I am going to go ahead and hold the Option or Alt key, click curve, just check this little one here. It says use previous layer to create a clipping mask. Say OK. And I'm just going to go down the center and just start drawing this down. And I'm going to do it quite a bit because really I want the image to be the important part. I don't want this matte. If you do a matte that's crazy, if it takes away from the image, you're just going to get points taken away, and you don't want that. I'm even going to go darker. This is going to be really dark. Something like that. And there's my mask. That's great. That's what I need. The next thing I want to do is, let's say this is well, let me give you a couple other examples. Let's say you want to add a little line around the whole area. What you can do is select your image layer and hold down the Command or Control key, click on it, click on the thumbnail, and it'll make a selection of just the image itself. I would now create a new layer and come up to Edit, Stroke, and now pick your color. For this, I'm just going to grab a white color just so you can kind of see it. 10 pixels, which is a lot. If you're doing a stroke, don't, again, let it over compete with your image. And the thing that you want to remember is you want to click inside. If you do the other ones, you're going to start getting rounded corners. You usually don't want that. So click inside, click OK. I'm going to deselect so you can see it. So there's how you can add a stroke around it. Be careful. Again, you don't want anything that's going to distract from the image. For me, I rarely use a stroke unless, I need to define a dark area from a dark matte. You can also have this on here and then take the opacity down, so it's just a slightly, not as obtrusive as just a complete white line. But again, unless you really need it, I say don't do strokes. So let's get rid of that. So now we got this the way we want it. So the first thing I want to do is come over here and come down to flatten image. I then want to come up here to image mode and make sure it's 8-bit. If you leave it at 16, when you go to make it a JPEG, you won't see the preview and you won't know the size. So let's just make it an 8-bit. The second thing is make sure it's in the color space that you want it to be in. I work in ProPhoto RGB. You either want to save this as sRGB or Adobe 1998. Let's just do sRGB for right now. Say OK. Now it's saved. Now it's not saved. Now it's all ready to go. And we can go Save As. Let this come up. And I'm going to just go ahead and put this in someplace I know where it's at. All right. And now I'm going to say save it as a JPEG. Say OK, save it. Now your preview options will come up here. You want preview checked because you want to see how big the file is. You are supposed to save it at a quality of 10. And you really want it under 5 megs right here. So that's where we want it. And then you can save OK. If it's a little bit larger, don't worry about it. We can accept a little bit larger, but really 5 megs is what we want it under. Say OK, save. I'm not going to do that because I don't need this one. And then you have your first image. Let's go ahead and take a look at this image. Here's one of Saint Chapelle. It's a vertical one. And we basically go through the same process. Turn that off. Hold the Command or Control key to make a layer underneath it. Let's resize the image. So image size. Again, start here, 72 pixels. And then up here, this is now height. I'm going to make it 3700. Say OK. Let's blow it up and bring it down. I have a layer underneath here. So what I'm going to do now is go to canvas size. And the height now needs to be 4000. And I need to add 300 onto here so that it's even all the way around. Say OK. And on this one, I think I will just do black. There we go. I think that looks good. I would not put a stroke on it or a line all the way around it. And you have your image ready to go for here. Now let's say you want to do something different. Let's go ahead and let me just make this white. Let's say for some reason you wanted to add a drop shadow. That's something you can do here too. Come all the way down, drop shadow. How big, how far, all this good stuff, the angle that you want, size, spread. Let's go with something like that. It's something I wouldn't do. Again, if you think if it helped the image, then do it, but I would not do a drop shadow myself. It's something that used to be done. Not too many people do it. Let's say you want to give this some texture. So let's go on to our background layer. Let's pick a color to use. Let's go with something like this. Option delete to fill it in with that color. So let's say you want to add some texture or something to this. You can do things like go ahead and add noise and start, putting it up there. You'll start to see it starts to add some noise. Let's add a little bit more. Let's make it Gaussian and maybe a little bit less now. All right, looks good. Say OK. It's a little light to me, so let's darken it by adding an adjustment layer, a curves layer, make it a clipping, and then bring it down darker. That's okay. I don't think it works for this image, but here's something else you can do. Let's look at this a second. That Gaussian blur is really, I don't think works very well. So what I would normally do is come down here, blur, Gaussian blur, and take it down so that you get something, like that. And then bring it back. So if you wanted to add some sort of texture to that matte, that's one of the ways you can do it. Again, and I stress this, don't do something like this unless it's going to help your image. That's one of the big things I have to say. Mattes are on there just to help separate it from the computer screen, to help your image, just to give it a space. It's not, it's one of the things they look at and they can take points away if it's distracting. So to me, do as little as possible, make them as simple as possible, and you can, I think, work better with it. So anyway, that's kind of how you get everything ready to get into print competition. You will then go to printcompetition.com and upload your images, pay your fees, all that good stuff, put the titles in, and you'll be ready to go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I look to see you at print competition this year. Thanks a lot.